Let us know if you guys are hearing us
Nobody's
live.
there. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Blake Cousins, Third Phase of Moon. There's a little bit of dropout considering where we are on location, right here on the Big Island of Hawaii. As you can see, the roads behind me are absolutely empty. This is what we want to see. We're going to be giving you updates of what's going on. We all are in this together. Let me tell you, the world has changed over the past 2 weeks. We would have never imagined what it's become and what it's about to become. But right now, we wanted to give you the update, what we're going to be doing here at Third Phase of Moon. Hawaii is not affected as big as some of the other places like California and New York and obviously China and Italy. But there are some cases going on in the state, and we are a little worried about it. But as of right now, the island that Third Phase of Moon is based on, the Big Island of Hawaii, known as Hawaii, so far we have no cases whatsoever. So that's a good thing. We're going to be keeping our fingers crossed, and let's hope it stays that way. But I think one of the indicators is that the Big Island, there's so much space here, a lot of remote areas where you could isolate yourself like pretty much nobody's business, better than anywhere in the world. And as you can see, the road behind me is absolutely empty. And this is what I think we need more of throughout the United States. We need to see empty roads. People just need to stay home and, hold it together, stay calm. But if we work together and our officials come together and say, hey, look, let's just shut it all down. Let's shut it all down, at least for a couple weeks. I'm sure we can make the curve end and make it to trend downwards. But until the time comes that our officials, our governors throughout the states say we got to lock it down, it's still going to continue to spread in a way that is going to be hard to control. There has been some measures around in the United States, and even here in Hawaii as of yesterday, our governor has canceled all public schools, extending the spring break for another week. So we're not going to be having school kids coming to school till the 30th, the end of this month. But we'll see on how that goes, because I got a feeling if things go the way they are and remain the same, and we're not taking this very seriously like we should, close the roads down, close it all down, we're going to continue to see a spike, unfortunately. But I'm confident if we stay in places like this, or if you're at home and you don't have any place to go, it's a good thing. Just stay home. And, friends, you want to meet your friends, you want to hang out with your friends like we did today, we keep our distance. We're keeping our distance from people. And it's not to say that, hey, we don't love you. It's just like, we want to make sure everybody stays healthy. We don't want to be contracted with it, or do we want to give it to anybody else? The testing and the tests are so limited, unfortunately, we can't say who has it and who doesn't. But if we could figure that out, and if there could be some kind of test that we could get to the masses, I think that would curb it all. Brent, are we getting any questions here?
Yeah, anybody in the chat, hit us up with a question. We're live. We're just hanging out with you guys, dealing with what's going on in the world. Hit us up with the question, guys. We're waiting for you. We got 500 watchers. That's fantastic. Okay. 53 thumbs up. Hey, hit that smash.
Hit that thumbs up if
Yep,
we're coming in clear, because this is one of the most remote places on the Big Island. It's known as the Hamakua Coast, and again, you haven't seen anybody come up this road.
Somebody asked a question, do you think this is an alien virus?
Well, some people are claiming that this thing came out of nowhere. And in my situation, I believe it is very weird that it did come out of nowhere, due to the fact that there's been a diet that was happening in Japan, apparently because the consumption of bat meat. Well, in my opinion, the Chinese people have been eating strange, exotic animals for years, including bats, for probably over 1,000 years. Why hasn't this popped up until now? It's nothing new, the dietary practices of some Chinese people, and I don't think it's wrong. They could do whatever they want, but that's why I'm saying, why would have this come up all of a sudden when they've been doing this for hundreds, if not thousands of years? Could it have been a code sent down through a celestial kind of issue? Could there have been some comet or a meteorite that left this through bacterium that's left on these comets and spread right here on Earth. It's a very likely possibility. Good question. I appreciate that question. Yeah, we just never know where these things come from, and could they even be manufactured by our own scientists to implement in a way that we're seeing now. One of my other fears is that this could be a basic book on how to make the people of the world panic. Look at this. There's something that pops up here. Oh my God, everybody's going to get it. We got to shut it down. I don't think that's the case now, but it is a textbook scenario that if they want to disrupt the way society operates, all they have to do is pull this little trick out and, you know, the world gets crazy. And right now, even in Hawaii, with no cases as of yet, the shelves are empty of everything. You know what the shelves are empty of, but more than that, people are having to stand in line for 5 hours at a time just to get their groceries when there's no groceries in the store. So we'll see on how all this plays out.
We've talked to a couple friends in LA actually, and unfortunately they're coming down with flu-like symptoms. They haven't did any testing yet, but what it's looking like.
Yeah, let me get Brent on the camera and let what's going on in LA, Brent?
Yeah, well, it's breaking down over there. We've been hearing a lot from friends that live in the area. Anything at Costco's, you got to be hanging out 5 hours in line. And we talked to some friends that we keep in touch in Third Phase of Moon, and we talk about UFOs. But right now, their family's dealing with the flu, and they haven't tested for anything at the moment, but they are feeling symptoms that kind of represent what we are talking about. So everybody out there, just stay safe. I'm not going to say wash your hands every 5 minutes because that's an old story already, but things are really serious. Things are, as somebody would say, it's breaking down kind of fast. And what we're seeing this week and in the next few weeks, I think it's going to be a whole different world, and it's already changing. Unfortunately, we've seen what's happening around the world. And what I don't like about this, and it's just that 1 out of 10
so
is
far
a bad percentage
in Italy.
In this kind of I'm just going to use the word P because I know YouTube will look at this and they might just demonetize us for talking about it. So you got to be careful and bounce around the words. But yeah, we're keeping it safe. And the percentage wise, what's happening around the world, it kind of varies. What's happening in European areas, kind of those numbers are kind of scary. We don't like to see this 1%, actually 10%. Rate of catching something. So we all got to keep it safe. Social distancing, I think, is the key right here. And if we step up as a human race, and we could fight this, I seriously think we can. It's an important issue. What do you think? Any more questions there, Blake?
Yeah, some people are asking, Brent, should this turn out to be maybe to stop the spread of this is to maybe just go cashless with not dealing with cash whatsoever.
Yeah, I would think anybody should, if they have their online banking, it's a smart move. Just going out there, touching the ATMs, and even putting in your passcode, I think is kind of something you got to be very careful of. Recently, I even grabbed Clorox wipes, and I was pressing my password numbers not to touch what everybody else has been touching. We all got to use common sense, and I think being a cash-free society right now might be the way to go and keep it digital. Absolutely. What else we got?
Well, some people are saying people are taking this way too seriously, but in my opinion, maybe they're not taking it serious enough. Can you explain why?
Yeah, that 1 out of 10% don't make it. So just
1 out of 10%?
1 out of 10 won't make it. So those are just scary numbers indeed. So that's not a overreaction by anybody. When you look at that, I'm sure you're close friends with at least 10 people. You wouldn't want to see one of those guys pass away. So it's a serious effects going on here, Blake.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm kind of interested in is if people are going to stay home, and about 95% of the people, especially in the United States, live month to month, there's going to be some issues on how are people going to feed themselves or take care of their family when they can't get to the store, or even go shopping because they're out of a job.
Somebody asked, like, where are you getting that 1 out of 10 number?
Okay, yeah, we're looking at the Italy numbers right now, and we haven't got all the information, but right now it seems, I don't have the exact numbers, but the ratio is about
I think there's 2,000
10% rate of mortality. So there's about 2,000 infections going on right now in Italy, and so far 200 have had the worst case scenario, if you know what I mean. So there's that 10%. In China, it's about maybe a little less than 3%, maybe a little slightly more, but we'll see on how it plays out in the United States. Maybe the Chinese nationality is more adept to this kind of virus. I'm not exactly sure, but I do think that the government needs to get into plan, maybe just think about mailing everybody here in the United States money via PayPal. I don't care on how they could get their money, but at least $1,000 a month for the time being, just so everybody could take the time off, stay home, not worry about paying their rent. You know, there's going to be a lot of landlords out there that are going to be going, how am I going to get paid because nobody's got the money? Well, in that case, it's going to get into a real serious scenario in the next week or so. Again, this is what we want to see. We want to see empty roads.
They're saying it's 7.7.
7.7%.
Pretty close.
It's still pretty scary.
Bad odds.
That's very scary. So, you know, you got to think of it this way. There's a lot of people that I know on this planet, and I know a lot of people out there have a lot of friends, and we don't want to see any of them go too early in their life because of this. We need to stop this now. In my opinion, I'm so glad that our schools have been shut down in Hawaii. I think that's a good start. They should shut down the cruise ships coming in.
Yeah, we've said they should have done this 2-3 weeks ago, absolutely, but we're a little slow.
Tourists, Hawaii's going to be here tomorrow. It's going to be here next year. We should just shut down all airline travel. And I know it's extreme, but you know, maybe if we did all this, 2 weeks would go by and then it'll be finished. But if we don't shut down the roads and we don't shut down everything, it's going to extend and extend and extend, and we don't know the ramifications. One good thing apparently is that this thing that's going around can't survive really hot weather, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that. Hawaii is a good place for heat, and maybe that might be one of the reasons why it's not here on the island yet, but that might not be the case. Maybe it thrives in these scenarios. This whole thing is new to this world. Is it from outer space? Is it something that's been brought here or something designed? I don't know. I don't think any of that matters. I think we need to get it under control, and we only got one shot at this, and maybe we can change the world. Brent, any last words? Any questions coming in?
Yeah, people are still up and down with those statistics. I understand there's different numbers coming around in different countries, but it's a serious problem.
Yeah,
it's close. We're close to what we're saying here. It's going to always change a little bit, but again, what's happening around the world is something that is unprecedented, something we have not seen for probably a century, since 1918, 1920, when that broke out.
And we're not trying to panic anybody by any means. We're trying to give the advice of stay home, keep it cool. Maybe social media might be the biggest thing coming around because the theaters are shut down. What are people going to watch? How are the people going to be entertained? So there's going to be a lot of social media. And I think the word on the street is, or the word on the cyberspace is, the information needs to get out, and we all need to be truthful, but then also to keep it safe and keep it cool. We're going to be standing by. We're going to be keeping it normal. If anybody out there captured a UFO, we want to see it. We're going to be continue to follow the UFO subject matter. Don't worry about that. But right now, the
They're
world
asking
is
us
thinking
where we're
about
at
this.
right now, and take a look. This is eucalyptus trees that just surround. They go for miles, and you could go here and you could get lost if you walk anywhere in these woods. You'd kind of lose your direction. These are planted here for reasons that aren't used anymore. So they're kind of a weed growing here in the Big Island. Nobody to harvest them, unfortunately.
And you know, there is a spot that leads down here, and if it all goes to hell, we'll be coming down here because there's a fishing spot, and if we need to get our food, we'll be getting our food from the ocean here. There's a lot of wild boar, there's a lot of pigs around, chickens run loose, so the food around here, we might have to become hunters. But if you're living in the cities or living in the suburbs, and you don't have these benefits like we do in Hawaii, I don't know what's going to go down. So that's why we got to get everybody's got to set up and prepare to pretty much stay home for 2 weeks, maybe a month, and not go anywhere. The curfew idea is a good idea. Getting money to the people every month, I think, is a good idea. And I think we're going to all get through this, but we got to play it smart. And that's why we did this live episode right here at Third Phase Moon. We just wanted to give you the update, what's going on with us. We're safe, we're healthy at the moment. Knock on wood that we keep it that way. And in the meanwhile, we'll keep you updated what's going on in our skies and what's going on around the world. Right now, so far, no cases here on the Big Island, Hawaii. We're keeping our fingers crossed again. Maybe it's because of the weather, but you never know. Brett, any last words? You want to say something here? Any questions? Some people says that I think the people in Wuhan are being zombies. What do you think about that?
Well, there's only good news coming out of China, I think. I think everything's kind of taming down over there while other part of the countries are kind of going on a higher tipping point. So they're kind of the first line of what we're going to see in the future, and if they're progressing for the better, that's a good sign for us in the future.
What about this peanut butter ass Dean Koontz book, The Eyes of Darkness? In the book in 1981 mentioned about this thing going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of Dean Koontz. I think I read all his books, and I do remember that series in a paragraph of what he did right. I do believe yeah, well, it's kind of like writers. They do a lot of research. They figure out a lot of things, and maybe it was just a coincidence and part of just his artistic impression in writing a book and a story. Was it kind of a fruition?
It's really, he was really close to it. It's really amazing, the coincidence behind it.
Absolutely.
I want to say another question is, some people want to know that this vaccine that's been being tested right now, that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, the fastest ever in history, actually, for test trials to be going into effect. But it's still going to be months on the road just to see the outcome of people, and they're looking for volunteers to take these this new vaccine and see how it's going to work. But we won't have anything for maybe another 6 months to a year. Who knows? Maybe it could happen faster. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Afra Johnson asked, what do you think is a good time to get in those underground bunkers? Do you think they're being utilized right now?
We're going to wait and see on that one. We're not going to be hunkering down in no bunkers or caves at the moment. It's not at that point. I don't think it will get there. So yeah, we're not going to be going into any bunkers unless we're going to explore them for fun for you guys to watch at Third Phase of Moon, but not for this particular reason.
John Bruno, a member at Third Phase Moon, says, or you can start chloroquine now. Chloroquine, that's a new word, huh?
Oh, I see.
Chloroquine.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We got our Clorox wipes. We got it down. It was kind of a good thing we got in there a little early just to avoid the mess that everybody's in right now, and the stock is just drastically dropped off the shelves.
Yeah,
literally.
we've had some family that's feeling the crunch on that. Absolutely.
Bump of Death says maybe that earthquake killed it all here last year. Yeah, I don't think seismic activity has anything to do with it, but I do think climate does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's interesting.
Well, I just want to say 10 years here at Third Phase of Moon. You guys are the best fans. Just thankful for you guys watching us, keeping us alive, having that part of disclosure happening. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at now. So everybody just stay safe. I'm just signing out here, and I'll wait to guys, see you guys next week, next month, next year. And everybody just stay healthy. That's what it's all about. So take care, everybody.
That's right. Everybody be safe out there. And, okay, we just got a phone call. We had to chop that up. But yeah, I just wanted to say one last thing. Yep. And top what Brent said, that we appreciate everybody from around the world, literally from every country on the planet. They've reached out to us right here at Third Phase of the Moon. They're appreciating us getting the news out, sharing the public's videos, the evidence as best as we got coming in from people just like you, keeping their eyes on the skies. And the evidence pretty much indicates that we're not alone, and I'm a true believer we're not. And I think Third Phase of the Moon has proven it over the years. It's undeniable. Things are going down in our skies, but we're going to be getting to that real soon. So subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks for joining us, everybody from around the world. It's been my pleasure. Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time.